Hey everybody, this is Matt from endsickness.org. Today I'm going to talk about how you improve your circulation if you have circulation issues following mold exposure. This is something that I see chronically with people who have mold exposure as they have issues with their hands, their feet. They get issues with sensitivities to cold, to heat, all that, but specifically to cold. I want to figure out how can we get this person back to a point where they can tolerate temperatures, normal temperatures, and be okay. They can start to feel the warmth and back in their extremities. So I'm going to go over that in this video. First, let me say I'm not a medical doctor. This is not medical advice. I'm a holistic nutritionist. This is for informational and educational purposes only. So if you are recovering from mold exposure, you got to realize that it does damage your autonomic nervous system and the flow, and that affects the flow of blood, and your blood flow may be impaired. Also, it could affect vascular health. So you could have this, not only this reduced vascular health, so you could push less blood through, but also on the other side of it, you have this autonomic dysfunction often that regulates blood flow. And on top of that, you typically have thick blood because, the mycotoxins thicken up your blood. They cause this toxic overload. Most people who are in this situation are eating too much meat and animal products that are not being broken down. So they end up with this real thick blood, right? And you're wondering, well, what do you do in this situation? Well, to be able to improve blood flow, you have to be able to decrease the amount of things that are thickening up the blood first. And number one would be higher fat animal products, things like, your cheese, your eggs, your ground beef, your dark chicken, things like that. Those things are most likely to make the blood thick and thicker and less likely to transport oxygen and blood. And the reality is you got to reduce the animal products. You got to increase the amount of plants. You got to increase the amount of fruits, the amount of vegetables, fibers. Those things will help you actually clean out your blood. And the fiber acts as a sponge to clean out the blood. So when you're eating, the blood will circulate through the stomach. And what happens is if you have fiber there, then it'll clean the blood in essence. If you don't, then this will keep recirculating these toxins. So you got to have something in your stomach that binds to toxins to be able to, really get your blood clean. The combination of different binders with high fiber foods is the best way to do it. Another way to be able to increase blood flow is simply by getting out in the sun, getting direct sunlight, constantly getting sunlight. If you're not in a place where that's possible, then it's really important to go out there and get a walk in, consistently get activity. Try to get yourself to 5,000 to 10,000 steps a day. If you're still having issues, you can also do warm baths, hot showers, stretching, fasting even for short periods of time to be able to clean out the blood and slow down everything. The last part I would say is, if you're really trying to get out of the situation where you have lack of blood flow, you got to get yourself out in the heat. You got to get yourself outdoors doing things, and your body will eventually start to heal itself as you do more and more of this. You just want to gradually work your way into it. You want to make sure that you cut out the animal products. You want to cut out all the other things that are thickening up your blood, and really increase water. Increase water. If you got access to a sauna, you got access to the outdoors where it's sunny all the time, where it's warm, you really got to get your body out there and do these things. The best binders you could use for really getting rid of those toxins and help thin out the blood are going to be apple pectin and carbonized bamboo or Takasumi Supreme. That is probably the best options for you there. So if you can't do any exercise, you could do everything else. But you got to be able to move in some direction to get your body more circulation. I love the sauna. I love the warm baths. I love the walking. I love the time out in the sun, all that. So these are just ideas for you. Remember, mold recovery takes some time. It might take even 6 months, a year or two to really get that circulation back to where it should be. But you got to give yourself some time and put in the effort that it takes to get you through this hump in your recovery. So thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good one.